Do not become an entrepreneur. Do not become a freelancer. I am an entrepreneur and I'm a freelancer. And as one, I want to tell you not to become an entrepreneur. Now, you might think this video is something where I start off with saying don't become an entrepreneur, and then later it's sort of clickbaity, and actually I'm telling you to become an entrepreneur because it's the best thing in the world or something. But that isn't really the case. So look, obviously I am an entrepreneur and I started off as a freelancer. I don't know if I count myself as a freelancer anymore since I run the agency, but regardless, that's my livelihood. I have courses teaching you how to be a freelance translator and talking about entrepreneurship and stuff like this. So obviously it's the route that I've chosen, it's the path I've chosen, and I wouldn't change it for me, because it really has brought me a lot of benefit and it's been really good to me. But that isn't to say that there aren't some downsides. There are some downsides. There's some pretty bad downsides, and I feel them as well, and I know other people do too. So I kind of wanted to cover these because I think it's only right that you know these ahead of time, because these are things that you will encounter, that you will get into during your life of being an entrepreneur and being a freelancer, if this is the route you choose. So the first thing I want to mention, and this one right off the bat, I should let you know that being an entrepreneur does not mean you can do anything you want. Unfortunately, I find some people that decide, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to work when I want and do what I want. And that's not really the case. I once heard the saying, entrepreneurs are people who work 16-hour days so they don't have to get a job. And that's very much the case. You don't want to get a job, but you're still going to have to work a lot. And you're going to have to work on a bunch of different things because you don't know what's going to work out. There is no blueprint. There is no step-by-step instruction to guarantee you success. And I say this as someone who has courses and a book on how to attain success. But that's one of the things I mentioned there, that anytime anyone tells you, okay, follow these steps and you're 100% guaranteed success, they're lying to you. That's not how entrepreneurship works. It's not like you follow the orders of a boss or of a teacher and then you're guaranteed a good grade or a promotion. Entrepreneurship, you're living in the real world. And so you get out what you put in, but you never know exactly when you're going to get something out or how it's going to work out. So just bear this in mind. You will work a lot. You will do a lot of stuff that you don't like as well. Now, over time, you'll figure out a way that you can concentrate more on the stuff that you like, because that's the stuff you're going to be better at. And you can sort of outsource or delegate or automate the other stuff that you don't like doing, because presumably you're not going to be very good at that stuff. And so it does get better over time, but you will have to do a lot of stuff and you will take a lot of work at the beginning. Do not get into entrepreneurship if you think it just means that you can relax, chill by the pool, and do whatever you want. The second thing I should mention is that your friends will not understand you, especially friends who are not entrepreneurs, friends who work in 9-to-5 jobs, corporate jobs, stuff like that. They might be your best friends and they might think they have your best interests at heart. You might think they have your best interests at heart, and they just don't, quite frankly, because they don't understand it. They finish every work day grabbing a beer, or finish every work week grabbing a beer, complaining about their jobs, complaining about their bosses, and that's just how life goes. To see someone who broke off and doesn't have to complain about their job or their bosses, they don't like that, because in a way it means that, oh, I could have done that too, but I haven't. Why haven't I done that? It forces some introspection that they don't want to go through. And so very often it makes them feel uncomfortable with themselves. And so they'd rather just tell you, oh, look, just be realistic, get yourself a job. Well, you can try doodling around, fiddling around your computer, but you should get back to a job, or you're just sitting at home doing nothing all day, or whatever it might be. They might not be too insulting about it, but it's very hard for them to understand. And unfortunately, this is just the case. And at least until you start becoming successful and start actually earning stuff and it shows, you really will kind of get this attitude. And I don't think it's done with malice. I don't think they do it on purpose, but it does happen. The third thing I should mention is that you will not be able to go back. And this happens after a certain amount of time. I'm definitely at that level. I don't think if I wanted to, I don't think I could get hired by a company. Maybe as a consultant or something like that, it's sort of on the side as an independent, consultant, advisor, something like that. But I don't think I could get hired. And this is because I'm unhireable at this point. They're not going to take me. I mean, I've been working on my own, and so I'm independent minded. I haven't been following the career track. I haven't been, going through the rigmarole of doing all that. And so when HR or whoever it is wants to hire someone, they don't know where to place me because I'm not, I call myself a managing director, but I haven't gone up the ranks of being this, being that, being middle manager, being higher manager, and stuff like that. And they really need to be able to see that, to evaluate, to assess whether they want to hire you or not. If you're an entrepreneur for some time, you're going to become a lot less hireable by the corporate world. So just bear this in mind, because this means that it'll be that much harder for you to get a job if you do want to go back. So once you take that step into entrepreneurship or freelancing, it's very hard to get back, and you're going to start seeing some bridges being burnt. Now, like I said, this happens after a while, probably after a year or so, because you can always say during that year you were trying something out and it didn't work out or something along those lines. But it is there, and so definitely keep this in mind. And the last thing I want to mention that you should keep in mind is that you can't be an entrepreneur if you're just doing it for the Lamborghini or the mansion or something like that. If you're doing it just, and I say this because every time you go to YouTube, if you have entrepreneurial stuff, or if you're searching for entrepreneurial stuff or follow entrepreneurial channels, when you go to YouTube, you're going to see these commercials. And not only on YouTube, you see them all over the place. But these people say, look at the Lamborghini I have. Look at the nice mansion I have. Look at how I'm traveling all over the place. You should be like me if you start Amazon drop shipping or whatever business it might be. And you can become rich and famous and all that good stuff. And I'm not saying you can't. Most people won't. Some people definitely do. The problem there is that if you're doing it just for the Lamborghini, for the mansion, for the whatever, for the rewards, then you're not going to make it. You need to do it for the process itself. This isn't like you're on a train trying to get to that destination, and even though you hate the train ride, once you get to the destination, you'll be happy. It's life. You get to one destination, then you're going to another, then another, then another. And sometimes the destination is a bit different and you need to keep going. So if you don't like the train ride itself, you can't keep going on that way. You need to want to go through the process. You need to wake up every morning really wanting to apply your ideas and keep doing what you're doing. If you don't have that, there's no way you can carry on. I don't know of anyone who can do that. And, obviously the motivation to have something at the end is absolutely there. I think it's there for everyone, whether it be a better life for your family, whether it be travel, whether it be the Lamborghini and the mansion, whatever it might be, that's fine. But you really need to want to go through the process itself. And that needs to be a selling point for you. The idea that you can wake up every morning and spend your day doing something that you really like doing, that needs to be a motivation. Otherwise, there's no way you can go through it. So anyway, those are just a couple points that I wanted to bring up. I wanted to kind of give you some real talk, so to speak, about being an entrepreneur. And I wanted to tell you that there are some quote unquote downsides. There are some issues that you're going to have to deal with. And so it's better if you know about them up front and that you deal with them sooner than later. And feel free to let me know if there are any other issues you know about that you need to deal with as an entrepreneur. I'm sure there are plenty out there. There are also obviously good sides, and those are the ones that I haven't been bringing up here. I can do another video. I probably have done another video. I could do a bunch of videos on good sides because there are plenty of good sides. But these are things you probably should keep in mind. And if they scare you at all, and if they make you change your mind, then I'd rather you do that right now than after you've been an entrepreneur and spent a couple of years doing it and realize that you really hate life. So that's it for now. I hope I didn't dissuade you too much or bring you too down, because like I said, this is the life that I chose. I would not change it for myself. I really like this life. I know it has ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, but at the end of the day, it is the best choice for someone like me. So I hope it's the best choice for someone like you as well, since you're watching this channel. And otherwise, I will talk to you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye. Sampai jumpa.